Ah, nice. Just putting on my new pair of negatively charged magnet trousers.
Evening, Horatio.
Oh, hey, Drew.
Guess what I've had done today?
What?
I've had positively charged magnets shoved in my eyeballs.
How are the boys going to get out of this pickle? Oh, God, we didn't think about this at all. Oh, this is the wrong day to wear these trousers. They're not even comfortable. Oh, what are you thinking?
Move away. Move away.
What are you thinking? Get your face off my... Just take your head off my leg.
I can't take my eyes off you.
Hello.
It's us.
It's us, and this is the last time we're going to be opening up the first time of season 7 and any season it's the last season of Gordon Cohen show.
We're back.
We're back.
We're no longer Daniel Nathaniel.
Yeah, that was just a fun little stint, but now we're back to our full name for the last time.
For the last time.
This is going to be the last season.
Last season. Please tune in.
Yeah, exactly, and this is our third term of third year.
Yeah.
The whole exams thing, so
we need this.
We need this a lot.
It's a bit of a break, and if no one listens to it, it's quite a sad break.
It's a very sad break. We're working hard on exams. We'll just go down to the radio studio and maybe people will listen to us. But then we go on, and if no one's listening, we're just spending a self-indulgent hour talking to each other and trying to make sure that all of our conversation links into the rest of it.
Like people are actually listening.
So it's basically like we're gonna have an hour-long break where we talk to each other, but we've planned
the discussion.
What we're going to talk about for that hour. Imagine that. Imagine that life. Imagine how pathetic that is. Do you want that I know some of you don't like us. I know a lot of you don't like us. But do you really want that to be our lives? That we have planned conversations as our break from a revision? No.
You're the difference. Be the difference.
Exactly. Easter holidays, let's break it down. It's been a long while. It's been like 5 weeks, maybe?
It has. It was a 5-week holiday.
Yeah, it's 5-week holiday, so it's been exactly 5 weeks.
Yeah. How was your Easter?
Just a horrible one. Just a horrible one. Just the whole of Easter. Just crying. Just doing essays on Easter. I was trying to give thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour, the Almighty Shepherd.
Difficult
but no,
to give thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ, the Almighty Shepherd, when you've got so much work
to do. It's true. The Lamb of God.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's true.
My Easter was fun, good old fun, fashioned, good old big up fun.
Yeah, because it's a bit, you got some tectonic, it's some tectonic shifts going on back home.
Woo!
A lot of shifting. Your parents divorced so long ago. How are you still having these issues at home? I don't know. But it seems there's just
a different family.
Yeah, new families, new women, new kids,
and that's my life at home. But Easter Sunday, as we say, Easter is about celebrating the Lord. And
it's about the resurrection of Christ. And lambs being born, because it's like spring.
Lambs being born.
Yeah, because if you go to a more...
Does that have anything to do with Jesus as a lamb?
I think it's more like they paired it as like the agricultural roots. They might as well give peasants holidays and say
because of the lambs.
Because lambs are getting born, like farmers and stuff.
So it's their entertainment.
Well, it's more like reminding them that you should celebrate that your lamb, the sheep are now giving birth to lambs.
Has that anything got to do with the Jesus?
Well, I guess rebirth, but they've kind of like where the hell did Easter chicks come from?
Well, that's a fascinating question.
There's Easter bunny,
Easter eggs,
Easter bunny. It's all thrown in with each other. Once again, we're not thinking about the Lord Jesus Christ, our Almighty Saviour, the Shepherd of
the world.
The universe. Potentially the multiverse, depending on what your Christianity is.
So, Easter.
Yeah.
Regardless of its context, lambs being popped up everywhere and, Jesus being resurrected.
Hello.
I had to get up at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
5 in the morning.
Wow.
Madness.
Okay.
Because I had a friend over.
Yeah.
And then she had a flight back to her native land at 7 at Gatwick. So we had to get down to the train station.
Cool. Let's just get this exposition out of the way.
Yeah, 20-minute walk down the train station for anyone that doesn't know where I live.
Yeah.
And we were going to wake up at 5, go down, ready for the 7 o'clock plane.
Sure.
Go downstairs. My dad's girlfriend is up already at 5 a.m. looking a bit
pretty
frantic.
early. Oh, really?
It's odd. Why is she up at 5 a.m. crouching in the dark kitchen? It turns out she's laying the Easter eggs for the Easter Bunny. Now, I did ask why so early for this. Because her kids still believe in the Easter Bunny. Now, that raises an interesting point, because regardless of age, I don't think I ever believed in an Easter Bunny.
Yeah, I don't think the Easter Bunny was ever on the cards for me.
I don't think it was the thing. Tooth Fairy, was that... Well, you were Tooth Fairy,
Yeah, Tooth Fairy for when I was quite young. That was
I think
quite,
the big two are Santa and the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, and Tooth Fairy pops out first. You're like, okay, that's
that's
nonsense. That's nonsense. It's not like Santa Claus, which is, solid.
Unless you've watched the Dwayne The Rock Johnson film, The Tooth Fairy.
Oh, really?
Then he gets firmly put in his place for not believing in the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, really? Wait, isn't he the Tooth Fairy?
No, he doesn't believe in the Tooth Fairy.
Okay.
And then he spoils a Tooth Fairy thing for his kid, or his girlfriend's kid.
Okay.
And then for punishment, or to show him the real ways of belief and faith and teeth, the Tooth Fairy comes in and says, "You've got to come work for me." And then Dwayne The Rock Johnson goes and works for the Tooth Fairy.
So it's thinly veiled kind of Christian propaganda. About
as
what
anything
happens to
Dwayne The Rock Johnson does.
Yeah, it's true. But he's a money machine, man. You look at the box office records. Unbelievable. Impeccable.
I love him.
He's incredible.
I'm
look at his neck. It's incredible. His neck puts bums in seats, man.
He's got a degree in criminology and
that is unbelievable. Wait, hold on. We're getting sidetracked. Let's get back to the story. We'll talk about Dwayne.
Well, fine, yeah.
Yeah,
because there's a time and place.
There's a time and place. We'll go back to Dwayne The Rock.
So it turns out, she's up laying out the Easter eggs for the kids to believe in their Easter Bunny. Oh, fine. You know what? You should be bloody telling them that it doesn't exist and stop leading them on in their life.
I feel a lot of the problems are this sort of attitude you take towards.
Grow up, kids! You're in my house now!
You just go with like a bottle of whiskey, just like, Easter Bunny!
I'll wake him up. It's not real! You're living a lie!
Have some of this. This is the only thing that's real.
Pour it on them in their sleep. Yeah. And, But nonetheless, she was in a nice, hectic, frantic mood, excited about Easter. She was like, I could drive you down. It's like, fantastic.
So super like...
Super jacked, ready to go.
But weirdly so, almost.
Slightly weirdly so.
Because you know what she's like normally, so it's not like a...
I think it was the product of being up at 5 a.m. and just excited about life, which I haven't felt in a while.
A while? I remember, I think it was like 2009.
2009, that was March
2009. Yeah. It was my birthday, and it was just like, I'm so happy that you've turned 13.
I think we're really going to have a good life together,
Wrong! Guess again!
And so then she offered to give us a lift, and we're like, fantastic, amazing, best thing ever. Didn't want to walk down to the train station at all. I was really upset about that. It seems like
the perfect start to Easter Sunday. He's not abusive.
Like horrible. So we get in the car, start driving down. We get to near the train station. She takes a wrong turn. I'm like, we're just going to Haverstead train station. She was like, I was going to drive you to Gatwick.
I imagine her just swerving in and out of traffic, just
like a tractor.
She drives a combine harvester, and that's what took so long.
But we're like, no, don't worry, just Haverstead train station. It's fine, it's not going to take that long. 10 minutes on the train, whatever, fine. We get off, we go to Haverstead train station. We're at the train station. I get out the car, gonna say goodbye and everything. Help her with her bags.
It's a nice thing to do. It's a nice thing to do.
I shut the door, and immediately at that point, I realised I've made a mistake. Car turns on, jets off. I run, laden with bags, flapping my arms in the air, saying, no, don't leave me here at Haverstead train station at 5:15 in the morning with my Crocs on, because I can't walk back like this.
Oh, I'd love to see, because we're laughing about it now, but I'd love to see your face just properly.
I was fuming, like genuinely so upset.
Oh, I don't want to say her name.
Why?
I don't know.
In case she gets hate mail.
Yeah, hate mail. Our fans are vicious.
But so I was at the Haverstead train station in the morning, whatever, and then walked back in my Crocs at 5:20 a.m. Got back in. Kids were completing the Easter egg hunt.
Of course.
Like, good for you guys. This is the real world. Me walking
With mud
in my Crocs and sadness in my eyes. Went to bed.
Remember, these Crocs had no widgets in them.
No widgets.
no widgets.
blockage
Imagine,
for the rain.
and also just imagine the kind of man who wears Crocs and he doesn't have any widgets.
At 5:20 in a strange town.
So he buys Crocs with holes made specifically for widgets, but doesn't use
put the
them
widgets.
because he has no soul.
No soul. No soul. Don't trust that man. Don't approach him on the street, especially at 5. But got back. I went in, then went to bed.
Yeah, sure.
Woke up at about 2.
Cool.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Came down. Obviously, the kids have already had the majority of their festive fun. They complete their Easter
2
egg
p.m?
hunt. Yeah.
Wow.
Because that was when lunch was, so I set an alarm for 2.
Yeah.
And then got downstairs.
Yeah.
I just wait.
Oh!
I was like, yeah, girls, you know it. What we up to?
High five
ladies?
it. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, Andrew, well, you've got to complete your Easter egg hunt. Otherwise, none of us can have fun at Easter because everyone's got to do everything. I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it, girls.
Yeah,
Let's have
cool,
some fun.
sick, man.
You know,
Yeah,
trying
cool.
to be, I want to be the fun.
You wanted to. I love it when you first heard the girls would come. You're like, I'm gonna nail this. Yeah,
Bit too much.
But then your alcohol problem comes out again. Yeah,
because I was already drunk at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they said, right, let's go. But you can't complete your Easter egg hunt without your bunny ears on. So I put the bunny ears on. The bunny ears are long. They're not messing around. They're proper flat out bunny ears.
Bit
and then
of
you can't
fluffy.
complete the Easter egg hunt without your little wooden basket. So I had a little wooden basket, the bunny ears on.
I'd like them to know that you can do that. Actually, it's a common misconception that you need both those things.
You can hug it in whatever you want. And so I'm standing there in the very long bunny ears, and it was like a wooden basket out of a Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
And then they were like, all right, the Easter egg hunt's outside. So we start going on my way outside, walk out the kitchen. I'm outside, and then I just hear the door close behind me. They haven't come out with me. No. They've just said you've got to complete the Easter egg hunt, and then didn't come. So I was standing in the garden after having walked back from Hayward train station at 5 a.m. and having a bit of sleep, having to complete this Easter egg hunt with my bunny ears and my basket. I found one, and I kind of got into it. I was like, right, where would the first one be? Then found one. I was like, okay, that's good start. Right, where was the second one? What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Went inside, I was like, no.
I love that thought process though, where you're like trying to plan out. It's like, where would they put it?
But no, then I stopped and went in.
Yeah.
And then I had to complete it later.
Oh, what? Well, they made you complete it later.
Because I went in and then I had to transfer some work on my laptop or whatever, and I was doing that in the study, and that's not very Easter.
Yeah, apparently
Eastery. If there's such a bloody thing as that. And then I just heard murmurings throughout the house of, oh, Andrew has a complete Easter egg hunt. Oh, Andrew has done his Easter egg hunt. Oh, girl, she better make sure Andrew does his Easter egg hunt. And then I was just sitting in there like tired. Still in my muddy Crocs,
widgetless
muddy Crocs, and I was like, I don't want this. And then I just heard murmurs like, I'm gonna leave it because I'm like, it's just they're building up a personality of me as this grumpy, miserable man. I've got to complete the Easter egg hunt by myself in the garden. And then my dad said, "Oh, Andrew, you've got to
but you are being grumpy and miserable. I'm just saying, just like I get they're building a personality type, but those are two traits that you definitely were.
Oh yeah, no, that is fair. That is fair. But I feel that it was slightly justified given the lack of participation from them.
Yeah.
But then the murmurings continued. Then my dad said it to me, and I looked at him, and I was like, no,
come on, Bill,
not on Easter, Bill.
Come on, the Cohen agreement. We've been in this
Bill. But then I completed, and then we had lunch, and then I accidentally spilt water all over my dad's girlfriend's plate of food that she just put down on the table. Yeah, I could have cried. At that point, I was like, this is not for me. Easter, living at home, and, life.
Yeah, and I think was it that event that basically decided that you probably want to do a masters now.
Yes.
So that was our Easter joy story. It's sort of like a metaphor for Jesus Christ. I feel you're the Jesus Christ character.
Yeah, because I died for the world's sins.
Because you went out
carrying the cross.
They said like the burden is doing the Easter egg hunt on your own.
Yeah.
But it's a slightly different story where Jesus, who carried the sins of the entire world and being the only sinless man in existence, took all the sins upon him and died for all our sins. You were asked to complete an Easter egg hunt and you didn't do it.
Didn't do it. You're bloody right. And I was resurrected later.
Jesus Christ turned water into wine. You spilt it all over.
My dad's girlfriend's roast dinner.
So there's a couple of discrepancies, but in general, I think it's the right vibe.
We're on the right. We're on the right.
Happy Easter. Right? Should we play a song?
Yes.
You need to be better at that kind of. It needs to be. Let's go and do a radio thing, kind of .
Yeah. Well, I was going to do. We've got in the habit of you just saying, "Do we need to? Should we play a song?"
Yeah, it's true.
Play it.
Well, now we got our own music. We should introduce it. Say a little something about this song.
This is Talk to Me, You'll Understand, which is by Ross from Friends.
What do you like about it?
I like everything about it. Everything, as in, if there's a perfect song in the world.
Yeah.
No, good name, Ross from Friends. And
it's a great name.
I'm just going to pause it. On April Fools, they... a magazine did, because he's a DJ, a magazine did a silly piece on Ross from Friends being sued by David Schwimmer.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first April Fool's I saw, so it hooked me in.
Did you get hooked? Get out of here. Get out of here.
And maybe coming up after this song, the best April Fool's that wasn't actually an April Fool's.
Oh. So you gave a little tease before the song about the best April Fool's that wasn't an April Fool's. Let's get into it.
We have a friend of a friend.
With no names being mentioned.
No names being mentioned whatsoever because it's quite a hot topic.
But we heard this story and it's just too juicy. It's just so good. It's so good.
Over Easter. Our friend comes back from Easter and tells us about this story.
Yeah.
So, supposedly, on April the 1st...
April Fool's.
One of his friends... gave birth without knowing she was pregnant until the day of the birth.
So you're thinking, all right, look, I know you guys are goofers, you're gaffers, you're pulling our leg. This is surely. We're not pulling our leg. This is not made up.
This is 100% true.
On the group chat, they were on their friend group chat back home. It was literally like, oh my God. The boyfriend was like, oh my God, whatever the girlfriend's name is, just given birth. Yeah. What do we do? And obviously no one believes it. They all go to the hospital and they see a baby.
Yeah. It took them to go to the hospital to believe that it was true.
Yeah. So
it raises a lot of bloody questions because I've never heard of someone not realising they're pregnant until the day of the birth. I've heard of people realising it quite late.
Yeah, so what's
Apparently
being...
it's a thing, though. Apparently it's a thing that...
Yeah, I've heard, because whenever I speak to someone, they always bring up their own story. But it's so... So both of them say that neither of them... They lived together, they're a couple, and neither of them knew
that she was
pregnant.
Neither of them.
Neither of them.
Now, they frame this in the fact that she used to be a bit overweight.
A little bit.
And it was that she was putting weight back on. Now... For me...
I swear that's...
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
There's a different kind of weight that you put on from just a bit of fat to a baby inside of you. And I think that's going to show. Now, for me, I think there's 3 options, maybe 2, I can't remember, but there's 3
fine.
around. There's some possibilities.
More than one.
More than one. Because I do not believe that neither of them... Well, mate, right. First possibility. I believe in the girl's head, there's a chance she could have some weird psychological mechanism going on that she just denied.
The brain's a complex thing, man.
Massive complex thing. We've always said it here at the show.
We've always. It's a big thing we say.
She didn't, she just couldn't, denied it in her head.
Sure.
In the fact
that happens all the time. That happens all the time.
And it's actually a thing that if girls deny it so much, they can get... This is right. I'm not sure if this is true.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I was told...
Some classic Andrew Cohen absolute nonsense.
I was told that when girls go through this, lots of girls go through it, they deny it, so that their bump doesn't develop that much. And then it eventually gets to the point where they have to accept it. And then within like a day or like a really short period of time, the bump just comes out and it like expands.
Well, so it's
almost.
like a mental...
So like a mental block. That then once they realise, it just comes out. I asked.
You just don't get girls, man. You just don't get girls. Women are from Venus, man.
Yeah. So I think there's a chance that she she denied it in her own head or whatever,
sure.
not subconsciously. But the guy is the confusing part of that, because surely you're gonna notice if you're living with her.
Yeah.
Like
They're probably sleeping together.
That's what couples touch each other's bellies.
That was all the
That's
time.
what happens. That's what the point is. That's the nice bit.
That's the best bit.
That's
the belly
nice bit,
touching.
the
It's when
rubbing.
you're not touching the belly where the real problem comes in.
Oh, all of this, all of that. None of the belly rubbing. None of the belly rubbing. So, option number one is that she genuinely didn't realise it, and the guy's an idiot.
Sure.
But I question that.
Such an idiot.
Like, I don't know.
I think...
Or she like kind of denied it for ages, then realised, panicked, and then didn't tell the guy.
Here's my
He's
theory.
gotta realise
I think here's my theory, because we won't spend too much longer on this, but both of them knew, freaked out, didn't know how to tell anyone. I think it's all a ruse. I can't conceptualize not knowing. How can a baby grow to 9 months? Like imagine, like the thing about finding out you're pregnant is the shock of knowing that you have that whole period of 9 months. Imagine not knowing that and just giving birth to a child.
That's harrowing.
Can you imagine?
No,
just
I
like
can't.
going on your day and maybe like you've been feeling a bit weird for the last 9 months and then just bang,
baby.
you're going to and a baby comes out.
A baby. Also, there is because of the situation, one of their parents has basically taken legal guardianship of it before they sort their stuff out.
Yeah.
So the another option is they both realised about 5 months in and thought, oh my god, it's too late to do anything.
Yeah.
So they could have been like, well, let's just pretend that we didn't know until the day of the birth, and then we can go, we didn't know this baby was arriving. Please help us.
What a ruse! What a hoax! I rate the hijinks though. It's a massive dupe.
Massive.
It's a massive dupe.
It's a great dupe. Maybe the biggest dupe.
It's such a big dupe. What the? I'm pregnant. What?
Our friend Felix has messaged in,
Oh, cool.
saying apparently there's a whole TV show about babies being born without them knowing until the day before. Says Cat.
I feel the person has to be drastically overweight though. I don't know. 'Cause
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't want to understand.
The female body, a wonderful thing. Confusing though.
Confusing. It's a mystery down
It's
there.
a mystery. What's going on?
We need some,
What does
we need
this
some
do?
studies on this at least.
Let's get some of the science. Any science people listening in, just get down there.
in.
Just message
Come
in.
in the studio.
Yeah,
Will.
come down.
Talk to you.
All right. Also over Easter, you've been complaining a lot more about just in general. I know this is a lot of focusing on Andrew basically griping, but you've been struggling a lot with things like manners.
Manners. What are they good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
No.
So, well, no, it was just I went to a nice posh meal with
Cool.
For my grandma's birthday kind of thing.
Cool.
And it was kind of.
Wait,
it
is
was
this
at
mum's or
someone's
dad's
houses.
side?
Mum's.
Mum's, okay.
It was
So now we're
quite-
switching over to the other side. It's just a therapy session of Drew just talking, just being, I can't even go into anymore.
So there was a nice kind of event that was happening,
Sure.
but it was in someone's house, and there wasn't really any necessarily massive faux pas to have or like rules to follow, but I just panic a bit in these situations because you're like, am I doing something wrong? 'Cause you're all standing by with like canapes.
Yeah. There's a whole
I don't know
like
what happens, and then it got to it. I did one of the most classic just mess ups. Was when we all went for I had a beer in my hand, of course. When don't I?
Yeah, exactly.
And we all went for a family photo, and I went to put my arm over my grandma, and the beer just went everywhere on the floor. And at that point, I was like, I just need to leave. Because there's a difference between not knowing like specific little manners to do, i.e., which fork to eat the starter with, but then spilling like half a bottle of beer on the floor.
That's what I was going to say, is because when you told me about, let's talk on the show and I have a real gripe about manners, I thought it would just be you saying, like, what do I do? Which hand do I hold? And you just poured beer on your nan. That's not... That's not like... Yeah, and you're trying to frame it as this kind of like posh people, they're so uptight. They're so...
But it was the atmosphere of fear that made me do that.
Do you think?
Yeah, because I just panicked and I wasn't
I think you
thinking.
have
I
a
was
serious... The
flustered.
serious theme is you spilling drinks on women. It seems to be a lot of things happening.
Yeah, that's true.
You drop a lot of... What? So how badly did you drop
it?
Yeah,
Like a good quarter of it came out.
during the family photo.
Yeah. But I just heard it, I was like, oh my God. Because I've just been talking to my cousin about how I don't really know, I'm feeling a bit flustered. I don't know what to do in the situation. And then that cousin's dad shouted at him because he thought he did it, because obviously I was quite far away from the scene of the crime.
Oh, so you got told off indirectly?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
And yeah.
Oh, dearie me.
But manners are weird. Do you know there's, especially table manners, there's an eating manner thing that apparently it's polite to allow the woman to finish eating first.
Really?
Yeah. And they're just essentially all incredibly misogynistic.
Yeah, always.
And there's also one that you should always walk on the side of the road to your woman friend when walking down a street. And that comes from one, protecting them.
Yeah.
Because in the olden days, they could have been hit by a horse and cart.
They're careless. They're careless. That's some crazy. Yeah, I feel with manners, the general thing is just like so people can be like, right, everything's going to be okay. Everyone's playing by these set rules. They're not. It's with all these things, it's about not being surprised.
Yeah.
So if everyone follows the manners, you're not going to look over and someone's not going to be licking all the food off. You know, they're holding it up.
It's security. It's
yeah.
safety.
It just feels safe. Whenever I have a meal with a woman, I will race to finish it before her.
Yeah.
Always. I'll always beat her flat out, and then I'll add it to a tally board I carry around with me.
Yeah, it's a competition.
Yeah, it's a competition.
It's
and then I leave and let her think about, I should have eaten quicker. I lost again.
We've got quite a lot of a few messages in about the old pregnancy.
Yeah, I want to hear people's opinions.
Felix is messaging in again and has said apparently it's about your womb. Sometimes it can be angled where the baby goes backwards. I think that's nonsense, Felix.
Yeah, Felix.
The baby goes backwards.
Yeah.
So the baby doesn't get born. What do you mean it goes backwards?
Felix, do you want to try talking out your mouth, not your arse, next time, please?
And the thing we're referring to here is called cryptic pregnancy. A cryptic pregnancy or denied pregnancy is a lack of subjective awareness of pregnancy until the end of gestation. Always get a bit funny when I say that word.
Yeah, because it can mean a lot of horrible things.
In pregnant women. The condition is we're not going to get into the incidence of it. 1 to 475. Causes are not clear. It is thought to be either psychological or caused by low concentrations of the pregnancy hormone HCG. And if there's one thing I've always said about our friend's friend, is she has a low concentration of the pregnancy hormone HCG.
And this is why she never really got on with Andrew, because he's always been saying about this. He knows barely anything about her, and he just says it straight up every time she gets brought up.
Pregnancy hormones still low as ever. Good luck knowing when you're giving birth. And look at the message.
Andrew, have some manners. Have some manners. Stop eating so fast.
And that is what you call radio linking.
That was incredible linking. Well, that was Louis Armstrong with Dream a Little Dream. A lovely little number from Louis. I always think I listen too much Louis, but then I listen to something like that, I'm like, maybe I don't listen to enough. I don't listen to enough. Absolute timeless classic. Right, so Peadofiles is
what we've got on.
Yeah.
I'll put the warning on very
yeah.
You're listening to Raw 1251 AM.
And
the following programme may contain explicit content.
It's not it's definitely going to contain explicit content. Now, I don't think we should get a strike for this because it's an interesting debate. It's discussing paedophiles, but I don't think there's anything
wrong with that.
I think we should be...
That ties into the discussion we're going to have. I keep checking the door because I feel like we're going to be...
Yeah, and...
But so the royal baby was born?
Yeah. Well, no, don't! That's not... that is bad! That's a terrible way to... What are you talking about?
Because we were going to talk about
the royal baby first. I thought it'd be funny to do a sharp cut to...
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about the royal baby.
Let's do paedophiles.
Let's do paedophiles.
Then the royal baby. Don't link the two, man. That's when radio linking can go horribly wrong. That's horrible. Oh, my God.
So... paedophiles.
Yeah, you've had this debate, and I'm ready to have it because I think there's something very interesting here.
So we got talking last night about the whole Jimmy Savile, expose, etc., and like the Louis Theroux documentary, etc. on it. And then that led us on to the fact that there's now becoming more and more prevalence. In the sex doll industry of like child sex dolls.
Okay.
So we got into discussion of whether that's a good thing or not. I immediately said it is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because we are in some risky territory. Because, it is a heinous crime,
Yeah, the worst thing ever.
It's the
terrible,
worst thing
terrible,
ever
awful,
in the world.
Awful. The Gordon Cohen Show have
Against paedophiles.
like 100%
Zero tolerance.
not 0% policy. Zero tolerance against paedophilia.
That's why Mark's no longer on the show.
Yeah. You just can't help yourself.
Now, it is the worst crime you can do, and it's the worst thing ever, yeah?
Sure. But that makes it interesting moral conundrum.
If you act on it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessarily, a lot of the time, it's the reason these people have these desires is because they've been through something.
Yeah, some
in
sort of
their
childhood
early life
trauma.
that has made this warped psychological sexual fantasy
I feel it's laid out quite interestingly with that guy who had a tumour in his brain.
Yeah.
And every time the tumour came, it like would move part of his brain. So you know how your brain can be moved around by a tumour because it would grow. And when he had the tumour when it was big, he had paedophilic thoughts.
Okay.
And when it remissed, he didn't have paedophilic thoughts. So it was like actually pushing on parts of his brain that was changing
his
own sexuality.
preferences. So
It shows
if
that
it's either nature or nurture,
Yeah.
it's not really a choice.
Yeah.
So for them, it's like, and this isn't defending.
No, he's not.
This is because there's almost, in a way, to
Yeah.
be honest, good paedophiles and bad paedophiles.
There are, because if you think about it, if you are a paedophile in the sense that you have paedophilic thoughts and you don't act on it, then you're a good guy.
You're a good guy because you can't
help yourself.
Imagine your sexual thing.
You sitting there naked. You.
Too much.
No, too much.
Too much. You imagine your your sexual desire was that,
Kids.
and you can never live that unless you become the worst person in the world.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's why I immediately went, these sex dolls are a good thing, because you have to acknowledge the mindset of not making a choice out of it. So you got to do everything that you can in order so they don't commit these crimes. But then there was an interesting retort of, basically, it's not very good that they're being sold just like on Amazon kind of thing. Because in a way, that has the habit of normalizing that kind of behavior. So the point was kind of like, if someone's just scrolling through Amazon and they see it, it's like, well, I haven't tried that kind of thing.
You bought these headphones, you might like this.
Child sex doll. But it's just, it kind of normalizes it, and I get that. So then we got to kind of the conclusion of, well, it should be like an NHS administered thing. If you go to
I guess so.
If you go to like seek help for it. But I don't think many
But that's because I wouldn't. They would, because
people would.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen like the way that sex offenders are treated? See, it always sounds like we're defending sex offenders.
We're not.
We're not. But there is. I feel you can't have with a lot of these kind of moral issues that everyone's kind of generally civilized societies generally agreed on. It's very hard to have any sort of debate about anything morally relative or anything like that, because once you're a sex offender, that's on your life. You're on your record. Like, even statutory rape is considered a sex offence.
Yeah.
If it's like a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old, and that's for the rest of their life, they're a sex offender. Yeah. And they have to let all their neighbours know and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difficult grey area.
Yeah, it's
with
difficult.
That, basically. Let's stay on paedophiles.
But that's what I mean is that if you're it's such a. It would completely upturn your life if you're considered a sex offender, even though that term is quite a blanket term.
So if you're saying,
you're not going to come to the NHS, because then I bet that you'd be afraid they'll be keeping some sort of list. Yeah. How many paedophiles? I wonder what percentage of the population are paedophiles who don't act on it.
Yeah, that's a fascinating question.
Yeah, because there must be so many.
Fascinating question. And then, a slightly more hot-headed member of the debate said that. Said that we instead of giving that, they should just chop their penises off.
Oh, so she's quite.
But with the not.
She's quite old. She's quite Old Testament when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Not for a punishment.
Yeah.
But he was telling me about this guy who had this condition, this disorder. Whenever he was in the street and he saw an attractive lady, he couldn't help but get his penis out and masturbate on the street.
What?
He physically couldn't help himself.
What? No.
So, yeah.
No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
This is the same person that said about the sudden increase of the baby bump, so it's a fairly scrupulous source.
I do not think anyone has that problem.
No, that's the thing. People get off by exposing.
No, I know they get off. It doesn't. I know that might turn them on. You know, we all like to do that, maybe.
The bushes on a Sunday.
Sure, but we can't. You can't. But
No, he physically couldn't help himself. It's like, but think about sexual desire and urge. It can be strong. It can really be strong.
Oh, you're such risky territory, man. Oh my god.
So I think it might have happened, yeah. But his way to handle that was to get castrated.
What?
Because that stops your sexual desire. So we know, because...
Wait. Not chop his penis off.
Yeah, chop his...
Like,
his ball.
snip some stuff off.
I
doubt he's not, because he still needs to urinate.
Word, actually.
No, because he's not going to get in the way of urination.
Yeah. Mate, he chopped something off.
Yeah.
That stopped.
Snipped some cord. Yeah.
Rejigged some ball and stuff. But then because that stops the sexual desire.
Yeah,
That's slightly different because I said, well... you can't really live life going around constantly getting your dick out at every attractive woman you see.
Yeah.
That's just not doable.
And I still think it's very... I do not believe that... I just can't... I don't believe that you could be that impulsive. Maybe. I mean, because like OCD people can wash their hands a lot. Maybe your thing.
Not my thing. This isn't me. Yeah, that was some guy who always got his penis out and then he goes castrated. How weird. Give paedophile sex dolls, man. It's fair, you know? Sex is weird. Sex is really weird. Everyone's got a weird design. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
What's the time?
Yeah, I mean, there's that conversation going for another hour.
Yeah, message in if you've got any closing remarks on that. Hold on. Yeah, we've got one. Felix again. Mm-hmm. Kat says that's his girlfriend. By the way.
Yeah, Felix. Remember, not everyone knows your bloody life story. Oh my God, Felix, Jesus Christ.
Kat says the paedophiles happen when they grow backwards in the womb, depriving a brain area known as Shatner's bassoon of oxygen, a condition hilariously known as Shatner's apoxia. There's a whole show on MTV about it.
Felix, mate, you have one more chance.
Yeah, because the thing is, we don't really know much.
Yeah, so you're taking advantage.
So for all I know, that could be true.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look it up.
Well, let's go into a song now. This is Prototype by Outkast.
Yeah, it's not a show.
I hope that you're the one. If not, you are the prototype. This world. I can't afford to not record.
Another lovely little tune. A lot of you guys.
Songs have been very melancholic.
Yeah, man, because you're revising and you don't know where you're going to go after uni. It's important to...
Oh boy, we're going to finish with a bang.
With a bang.
A bang.
Count.
So stay tuned.
Dankula.
Count Dankula in the news all the time.
All the time.
Well,
you explain the story because I don't actually know too much about it. I know a lot about the debate. I have it all the time. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, well,
you know that type of
not
person.
About the practical news stories.
Okay.
So he got Count Dankula.
Go explain.
He's like a comedian or something like that. And
I thought you said you knew what this news story. You can't say something like that. Because even I thought he was just some rant. He's not like a comedian.
I think, but there's a grey area.
Okay,
he does something like that. He does some sort of comedy thing.
Yeah.
And he taught his cat to do like a Nazi salute every time he said something about the Jews. I think. Or he just taught his cat Nazi stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And then took a video of it, put it online.
Okay.
And then he got arrested.
Unbelievable.
Taken into prison, jail, and his hearing or like his sentencing was yesterday, and there was like a legitimate chance that he could have ended up in jail for this.
Unbelievable.
He ended up with a fine, I think, rather than anything else.
Still unbelievable.
Which is shocking. And I watched this kind of the courtroom stuff that stuff was happening outside. Annoyingly, through Tommy Robinson's.
This is the point.
Yeah,
this is
Tommy Robinson's Facebook. He did a live video.
Yeah.
And then because he's kicking up a fuss and everything, and all the news are talking to him and stuff like that, it's kind of like the quest for free speech in comedy and not being punished for things taken out of their context, etc., is jumping on the right-wing bandwagon.
It's unbelievable. This is literally the main problem, is that I think my biggest problem with the left and people who have my opinions is they have a completely ridiculous view of free speech, and it really upsets me because it's so. But all the people I agree with who I want to like me in a sense disagree with me on freedom of speech, and the people who are standing up for what I believe in freedom of speech always preface it with their horrible own opinions.
Yeah.
Like the comedians who really stand up for it are Jonathan Pye, who is terrible. I can't stand Jonathan Pye. He has an awful politics in so many things, and Ricky Gervais, who's his own cocktail of ignorance.
Yeah.
Like it's so. But then it's got me to ask the question, is like, if so many people who I agree with most other things don't agree with freedom of speech, does that mean that I'm one of those Jonathan Pye, Ricky Gervais people? Like, it's hard to know. Because I always listen, I'm always on YouTube videos and I'll hear someone talking about like freedom of speech, no matter what your opinion is, it's like a fundamental building block of democracy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, so we need to show these feminist sluts what freedom is. And it's always like, oh, come on, are you serious?
Yeah. Well, it's always about the context.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
But I hate how it's such a. I'm having such cognitive dissonance because it's like, I've no idea. It feels like I have no home to go to on this debate because everyone who agrees with me, I don't like.
I don't really like. I get that. But I don't know. It's frustrating because it's all about taking each case as an individual case because the fundamental thing is differentiating between hate speech and free speech.
Yeah, sure.
Because there will have to be a line where someone is, I don't know, I'm not sure what level of punishment, but you have to have a preventative measure in order to stop people spreading hate speech. Things that could incite hatred, maybe, stuff like that.
But things that could incite hatred.
Could be anything.
Yeah, like a joke can incite hatred.
Exactly. I think comedy should have a kind of rare, privileged position to say
but also,
what it wants.
I hate this idea that you can't mess up a joke. Like we do all the time on this show. Like, I think you should be given a lot more leeway just to mess up sometimes, because it's like, why are you making that face?
I just got a message.
Okay, fine. But do you know what I mean? It's like there's this whole thing kind of, if you're making a joke, you have to nail it. You have to tell the right taste. Sometimes you mess up taste. Sometimes you completely miss the roof. Sometimes you're super offensive. Sometimes it's super, even within context, super bad. But I always have a lot of sympathy for people trying, because I try a lot of jokes.
A lot
of them mess
more
up.
About
but
numbers than quality.
It's true. And when I see these things, and this person said this awful thing, I'm like, that is awful. But all I'm not thinking, oh, what a racist or sexist. I'm thinking, he's having a bad gig.
Having a bad day. Exactly.
Tough
Give
crowd, man.
a bit of a chance. But interestingly, when he came out of the courthouse, he was confronted by this reporter who was like challenging him on the video, basically, and then he repeated what he said in the video, something about like Jews or whatever. Like he said, well, you did this, then repeated what he said in the video and said, so do you think that's funny, do you think that's all right, kind of thing. And the guy, Count Dankula, was just, it's a ridiculous name, was just saying, repeating like, you can't take things out of their context, you can't take things out of their context. And the reporter wasn't having any of that kind of thing. And then he just went, because the reporter was saying, well, you don't always, you can take things out of your context because you said this, and he was like, well, you just said what I said in the video, so I'm going to now take you out of your context and say you're being offensive, kind of thing.
And what did the journalist say?
He walked off at that point. It was a bit of a drop the mic moment.
Yeah.
But that's just a good point. It's like, you've said exactly the same things that you said in the video. Should he go to jail?
Yeah.
And it's like, the joke wasn't about that. The joke was about a cute cat doing profane, horrible things.
Yeah. No, it's
not. It's just like, look at where the joke is pointing.
It's just in general on the left. It's like you give so much fodder for people like Mario Yiannopoulos and Katie Hopkins, because there's so many people who are so sick of this kind of stifling of free speech and this kind of idea that you can't even have debates. I hate this like thing. I disagree. I despise so much right-wing belief, but like, you're not even going to debate them. It means you're terrified of your own intellect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It really annoys me. But then as soon as you like no platform Katie Hopkins, it makes her stronger, you morons. It pisses me off so much just seeing like these like students who think they're doing a good thing, just thinking, oh, we're going to shut Katie Hopkins up. That's going to show her. It literally makes her stronger. She'll post a video about it. It will get shared, and it will just create more of a rift. It's an embarrassment. And if you do it, you disgust me.
Ooh, gimme.
Give me you what?
A man.
When?
After midnight.